Have you ever looked at someone and felt that something was off, but you couldn't explain why? They weren't ugly, they weren't unhealthy, they weren't doing anything obviously wrong. And yet, their face looked tired, their presence felt small, their energy didn't reach the room. Now ask yourself something uncomfortable. When was the last time you felt fully alive in your own body? Not excited, not motivated. Alive. Most people assume their appearance is fixed, that aging is inevitable, that looking worn down is just part of adult life. But the Stoics saw something most people still miss. Your face is not just genetics, it is a record of how you think, how you breathe, how you carry pressure, how you respond to life when no one is watching. Marcus Aurelius once wrote that the soul takes the color of its thoughts, not metaphorically, physically. Your habits leave fingerprints on your posture shapes your breath shapes your face, and your face silently tells the world how you live. That's why two people can be the same age and look 10 years apart, not because of luck, but because of unnoticed behavior. In this reflection, we're not talking about skincare, fashion, or surface-level fixes. We're talking about 10 quiet behaviors that slowly erode your appearance and your presence without ever triggering alarm bells. They feel normal, they feel harmless, they feel like just life. Until one day, you catch your reflection in glass and don't recognize the person looking back. Let's begin with the first one. The most underestimated of all. Silent habit 1. Your body is folded inward. Look at how most people exist during the day. Head forward, shoulders rounded, chest collapsed, spine curved like it's trying to retreat. Not from danger, from life. This isn't about standing tall for confidence posters. This is biology. A collapsed posture compresses your lungs. Compressed lungs signal short breath to the nervous system. Your body thinks it's under attack, so it tightens the jaw, hardens the eyes, drains warmth from the face, and slowly sculpts an expression of exhaustion, even when you're resting. The Stoics called this prosoche, vigilant attention. Not mindfulness as aesthetics, attention is discipline. To notice when the body drifts into retreat and to bring it back without drama. Presence is not confidence. Presence is alignment, and alignment is visible. People with calm posture don't beg for attention. They don't need to. Their body already announced, "I'm here." Silent habit 2. Chronic sleep neglect. Lack of sleep doesn't just make you tired, it erases sharpness. When you sleep, your body repairs tissue, regulates hormones, flushes inflammation from the face. When you don't, your eyes swell, skin dulls, fine tension locks itself into your features. And the dangerous part? You adapt. You forget what rested actually looks like. Seneca warned that people are careless with the one resource they never get back: time. Sleep is time invested forward, not indulgence, maintenance. A neglected body doesn't revolt loudly, it fades quietly, and fading shows first in the face. Silent habit 3. The constant micro-frown. Most people think complaining lives in words. It doesn't. It lives in the face. Every time you judge, resist, resent, or mentally argue with reality, your facial muscles participate. Brows tighten, lips compress, jaw clenches. Now repeat that hundreds of times a day for years. That line between the eyebrows, that heaviness around the mouth, that permanent look of irritation, that's not age, that's repetition. Epictetus said it plainly. It's not events that disturb us, but our judgments about them. Your face keeps score. Some people look peaceful even under pressure. Others look bitter in silence. That difference is mental posture made visible. Silent habit 4. Eating without awareness. This isn't about discipline for discipline's sake. It's about relationship. How you eat reflects how you treat yourself when no one is watching. Rushing, numbing, overfilling, distracting. When food becomes a coping mechanism, your body carries that confusion. Digestion strains, energy dips, inflammation rises, skin reflects the chaos. The Stoics valued temperance not because pleasure was bad, but because slavery to impulse was dangerous. A person who eats with calm attention carries that calm everywhere else, even in their eyes. Silent habit 5. Living through comparison. Modern life trains dissatisfaction. You scroll, you compare, you measure, and your face reacts. A subtle tightening, a slight narrowing of the eyes, a hardened mouth. Not jealousy, pressure. The Stoics warned against measuring your inner life against external appearances, because appearances lie. A life lived through comparison trains the face to look dissatisfied, even when things are objectively fine. And dissatisfaction is exhausting to look at. We'll stop here, because this is already enough to sit with. Notice your posture today, your breath, your face at rest. Not to judge, to observe. In the next part, we'll explore how anxiety leaks into body language, how nervous habits steal magnetism, and how simple Stoic practices restore quiet authority. But for now, just this thought. Your appearance is not what you have, it's what you practice.
There's a strange thing about presence. You don't notice it when it's there, but you feel it immediately when it's gone. Someone speaks, and no one leans in. They enter a room, and nothing shifts. They exist, but don't register. This isn't about dominance. It's about coherence. The body, the breath, and the mind telling the same story. And most people unknowingly sabotage that story through small, nervous habits they've normalized. Let's continue. Silent habit 6. Your body language is asking for permission. Watch how people move when they don't trust themselves. They shrink their gestures. They fold their arms. They tilt their head while speaking. They sway, fidget, apologize with posture. Even before words come out, the body has already spoken. The Stoics understood this deeply. Self-mastery always begins with the body. Epictetus taught that no one can insult or diminish you without your consent, but consent often happens physically first. When your shoulders cave, you give ground. When your eyes drop, you retreat. When your gestures hesitate, your message weakens. Presence is not stiffness, it's stillness. A person who stands calmly does not rush to convince. They don't over-explain. Their body doesn't argue with their words, and people feel that alignment instantly. Silent habit 7. Anxious micro-movements. This one is subtle and devastating. Touching your face, biting nails, adjusting clothes, tapping feet, rubbing hands. Tiny movements, constant signals. They communicate uncertainty before you ever speak. Worse, they create more anxiety. The Stoics warned about feedback loops long before psychology named them. The body trains the mind, and the mind trains the body. A restless body cannot host a calm mind. Marcus Aurelius wrote that you have power over your mind, but he practiced it through the body first. Still hands, steady breath, grounded stance. Calm is not a personality trait, it's a physical choice repeated. Silent habit 8. Dehydration disguised as fatigue. Many people think they're tired. They're not. They're dry. Dehydration dulls the eyes, drains skin tone, deepens shadows, slows cognition. And because it happens gradually, you normalize it. The Stoics believed discipline was an act of respect toward reason, toward nature, toward the body. Water is not optimization, it's baseline care.
A neglected body always shows it first in the face. No philosophy overrides physiology. Silent habit 9. Shallow breathing. Most adults don't breathe. They sip air. High chest, short inhale, fast exhale. This keeps the nervous system permanently on alert. A body that feels threatened tightens the jaw, tenses the neck, locks the face into vigilance. You can't look relaxed while your breath is screaming urgency. The Stoics trained calm under pressure, not by thinking differently, but by regulating the body first. Longer exhales, slower rhythm, deeper belly expansion. Calm breath reshapes the face over time. Presence softens, eyes settle. The body stops broadcasting danger. Silent habit 10. Living away from daylight. This one feels insignificant. It isn't. Sunlight regulates mood, energy, hormones, and sleep cycles. Without it, the body dims. Not dramatically, gradually. People who live indoors too long carry a grayness, a subtle absence of vitality. The Stoics believed in living according to nature, not in retreat from it. Natural light anchors you in time, in rhythm, in reality. In reality sharpens presence. Now notice something important. None of these habits announce themselves as dangerous. They whisper. That's why they get away with shaping your appearance. Stoicism was never about becoming impressive. It was about becoming congruent. Mind, body, and action aligned. In the final part, we'll pull all of this together, not as habits, but as identity. How quiet discipline restores dignity, how presence returns without forcing confidence, and why awareness alone already begins the change. For now, remember this. People don't respond to your intentions, they respond to your state, and your state is written all over you.
There's a moment most people never talk about. It happens quietly. You catch yourself in a reflection, a window, a dark screen, a photo you didn't pose for. And for half a second, there's honesty, not judgment, recognition. You don't think, I look bad. You think, I look absent, like someone who's been somewhere else for too long. The Stoics believed this moment mattered more than motivation because awareness is the beginning of authority. Not control over life, control over response, and response becomes identity. By now, something should be clear. These 10 silent behaviors were never really about appearance. Appearance was the symptom. The real issue is how you inhabit yourself, whether you are present in your body or living 5 inches ahead of it, whether your breath supports you or keeps you on edge, whether your face rests in neutrality or holds yesterday's arguments. Marcus Aurelius didn't write to become admired. He wrote to remain intact. He understood that a person who neglects small disciplines slowly dissolves without noticing, and that erosion always shows. What changes when awareness becomes practice? Something subtle begins to shift when you pay attention. Posture stops collapsing. Breath deepens on its own. The jaw relaxes without command. You don't try to look better. You stop leaking tension. And people feel it, not in a dramatic way, in a quiet one. They don't interrupt as much. They wait. They listen. Because calm presence feels complete. It doesn't rush. It doesn't chase. Epictetus taught that freedom begins when you stop outsourcing your state to circumstances. That includes how you carry yourself. Why this feels uncomfortable at first. Most people live slightly dissociated, always stimulated, always distracted, always reacting. Returning to the body feels strange, almost exposed. You notice your habits, your restlessness, your avoidance. That discomfort isn't failure, it's re-entry. The Stoics didn't escape discomfort, they used it as information. The body never lies.
It reveals where attention has been missing. Discipline without brutality. Stoicism is often misunderstood as harsh. It isn't. It's precise. It asks only one thing. Can you observe yourself without excuses? Not condemn, not dramatize. Observe. Because once you see clearly, change is no longer forced. You don't need transformation. You need consistency. Small corrections, repeated. A straighter spine, a deeper breath, one less complaint held in the face, one moment less lost to comparison. These don't look heroic. That's why they work. Presence becomes visible over time. People assume presence is charisma. It isn't. Charisma is borrowed. Presence is owned. Presence comes from a nervous system that feels safe, from a body that isn't fleeing the moment, from a face that rests instead of braces. That kind of presence ages slowly, not because time stops, but because tension does. The Stoics called this living in accordance with nature. Not perfection, not performance, alignment. A final reflection. You will never control your genetics. You will never pause time. You will never satisfy every judgment. But you can decide this, whether your habits harden you or refine you, whether your face carries resistance or clarity, whether you move through life contracted or composed. The difference is not motivation, it's attention, and attention practiced daily becomes character. So the question isn't, how do I look? The question is deeper. How am I living, quietly, repeatedly, when no one is watching? Because eventually, that answer stands in the mirror.